to us to complete, to admit that I am wrong. Oh, God, I know I'm wrong. That's where the killer is, that you can never commit. God, this mess I done got myself. I stepped out of your will. So watch this. He said, Father, I've sinned against you, and I've sinned against heaven. Only way I'm going to get out of this mess is I got to learn how to use this same thing that got me into this mess. This mouth that done got me into it, this mouth got to get me out of it. So God, if I'm going to ever get out of this mess, I got to declare I sin before you and I sin before heaven. Because why? The steps of a good man are ordered. And so in heaven, all of my steps have been ordered. So I'm stepping out of the wheel. And so if I ever going to get inside the wheel, I got to understand I got to get my mind stayed upon him. Ever to get out of this mess, you have to learn how to start confessing. God. Yeah. They presented to me beautiful. I know I was like Obama. I took 5 different pens and signed my name up to this. But the only way I'm going to get out of this is that I begin to say, I made a mistake. You can, I'm going to be honest, you can go to a therapist and sit on the therapist's chair and tell your therapist that your mama abused you. I tell Keon this all the time. We always go back to the mama did something syndrome. The reason I am this way is because my mama did me. The reason I pick no good people because my mama said I was a no good. No. I told you on the way here, I said self-volunteer suffering, undocumented suffering is not inherited. Your stupidity is not inherited. I know it's easier and it sounds better to blame somebody else. Your stupidity is not your mama's fault. No. Why you say that, Bryant? Why you say that? God gives every man a free will. I got to say this because you got to deal with this in suffering. God gives every man a free will. My mama can jump off a cliff. I can throw her a lifeboat, but I ain't finna step behind her and follow by everything. I can't. Self-volunteer is not hereditary. It's pursued after. Get it, write it, love it. Say it to yourself. My stupidity is not my mama's fault. My stupidity is mine because I know right from wrong. I'm in this mess because, truth be told, I love this mess. I said this Wednesday night. It is so strange how that B.B. King. Have y'all seen that commercial about B.B. King with the blues? And he had this other lady he playing with the blues. And she said to BB, BB say to her, is these the fingers that you test yourself on? And she said, yes, it is, BB. BB simply saying he's a spokesman for diabetes. But if you ever watch BB, he's not playing the blues for his diabetes. He's taking what he has to use, his hands, to test his, his glucose. And simply saying, watch this, I may have a problem, but I'm not letting my problem get the. I'm working through my problem. Some of us, we don't know how to work through our. we'll give her up. Can I show you one more thing? I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go. Promise. 1 Peter. I got to understand. I'm into this. I'm into this suffering because I got to get you to a point next Sunday that you can begin to look at your suffering and understand that your suffering should bring forth benefits. If you're going through life and you're experiencing hardships, and these hardships you sign yourself, you can't use these at Judgment Day. I says, can I show you this? Can I show you this? Can I show you this? Get your mic, because I need you to read this. You at 1 Peter chapter number 4? I'm going to end on this. Can I show you this? Everybody in 1 Peter chapter 4? Verse number 1.
Therefore, since Christ suffered in his body, arm yourselves also with the same attitude, because he who has suffered in his body is done with sin. As a result, he does not live the rest of his earthly life for human desires, but rather for the will of God.
But watch this, verse number 3.
For you have spent enough time in the past doing what pagans choose to do, living in debauchery, lust, drunkenness, orgies, carousing, and detestable idolatry.
So this is what I want to show you, sir. Can I show you this in 3? Can I show you this in 3?
Yeah. Go ahead.
1 through 2 says, Christ has suffered, so we should also suffer. Here come 101, undocumented suffering. Verse number 3, he says, for you have spent enough of time. If you can't underline just to suffer, you have spent enough of time. Watch this. You have spent enough of time doing the things that you really want to do to call yourself suffering. Watch what he says. For you have spent enough of time in the past with plaguing choices. This is what it says. You should get tired of doing some of the same things over and over that called you to go in the same way. He says, haven't you spent haven't you suffered long enough? Watch. Let me show you them. Can I show you this? I need to make sure that you see this. Verse number 3, he says, for you have spent enough of time in the past. Self-volunteer suffering should be something of the let me get you on this. As you go through life, from this point on, the suffering that you should experience, it should be righteous suffering. I'm going to get you on this week. Please stay with me this month. I'm going to show you some of the things that you should experience. It should be righteous suffering. For these things that are evidence, they are evidence. They are the benefits of Christ. But some of the suffering that you put yourself through, you should be tired of this. The Lord told Abraham, he says, your descendants should be in bondage for 430 years. Write this down. I need you to write this down because I need you to live on this. He says, Abraham, your seed should be in bondage for 400 years. He's telling Abraham this before Abraham have any children. He says your children should be in bondage for 400 years. For 400 years they should suffer. And when they finish suffering, watch this, they're going to come out and go into a land that's flowing with milk and honey. So watch this. That is a purpose suffering. It has a purpose behind it. So it says what? They're going to suffer for 400 years under the hand of Egypt. And he says every person that hindered you and hold you bondage, he says, I'm going to go wrath on them. Watch this. Everything that you experience in a righteous suffering, God is going to revenge, even though he permit you to go there. You got to see that. You got to see. He's going to let you go there, and then everything that holds you there, he's going to punish them for holding you there. But he'll let you go there so you can mature. So he's going to show you, because you mine, because I want you to mature, I'm going to let you go through it. But everything that hindered you while you was holding you, while you was mature, I'm going to punish them because I'm just God. So watch this. 400 years, he told Israel, you're going to go through bondage. After Egypt came out of bondage, out of Israel came out of bondage, they murmured and complained. Yeah. So for 40 years, they had to wander around. Now, you got to catch this. If you ever read the scriptures, they never mention the 400 years as a benefit. Excuse me. They never use the 40 years as a benefit. The writers will always simply says, remember when our God kept us inside of Egypt? Even in our theme, if you look on our theme, it says, he says in Joshua chapter 5, he says, the Lord says to Joshua, today I remove the reproach of Egypt from you. Never the 40 years of wandering around in the wilderness. Because the wilderness experience have no benefits. Every time you going around in circles, you can't use these things. And so you're suffering for what reason? I'm not going to lose weight if I ain't trying to get into nothing. That's just me. Why should I suffer my appetite for something I'm not trying to get into? I'm not fasting on Wednesday because it's good. I'm fasting because, God, I got to get closer to you. If I'm going to put food away, the things that you are suffering right now, and it has no benefit, why suffer through them? I got to get you on that. I got to get you on that. If you don't leave anything today, the things that you are suffering and there's no benefit behind it, why go through it? Why? You know why we go through it? Because we just like animals. We learn the behavior. That's what we go to. I tell y'all, if y'all want some deep revelations, I'm telling y'all, if y'all want some deep revelations, y'all got to watch the Animal Planet channel. If y'all want some deep revelations. What's his name? Jeremy? Jeremy Hay? Hen? Whatever his name. Unhook. He tells you. He says this. He says he catch him big, Quentin. Catch the big fish. And he says he catch the big fish because he began to study their behavior.